So I'm curious for you, tell us about the difference between your impression when you first tried it and now.
Yeah, I think your point on adapting workflows is a really good one. Quite literally workflows, I'll talk about that in a second, but also just in terms of like how do I like think about usage of the model? Because at first the timing was interesting because it kind of coincided with me transitioning from CPO into labs and going really back into builder mode. And I think it was about a month and a half or 2 months into that that we first had one of these models available internally. And I sat there and I was like, I feel like a total newbie again, because I feel like the way that I am prompting or even thinking about decomposing a task is really out of date now with this model. Like it's no longer, and it's even thinking about the time horizon or the sort of like interactivity model, I think has to evolve as well. Like going from, I think early on would be like, I have an idea for this feature. Can we start by like, absolutely not, right? To great, like let me express more of the intent. Wow, on the one shot, it's already incredibly impressive, but then it also understands the intent around how we're going to evolve this and understands like the global context as well. So I think that's been a really interesting evolution till now where, I was talking to somebody this morning where, I think about doing work. I had a flight and I was like, okay, I can do most of this work remotely. And I don't even worry that like the Wi-Fi is going to drop out because I know that if I set up the right, context instructions, like flash loop, it'll see it through. And I think my last 2 months have been full of a lot of times where I will, wish Claude a good night, set it up on like a pretty complex task of something of this like model class and wake up to, actually it's usually done by like 2 a.m. and I guess it just twiddles its thumbs for the next 4 hours. But like, really impressive ability to like complete the swing, get itself out of the situation where it's like, okay, all right, well, Mike asked me to do this complex task overnight. I got stuck because this remote service went down. I'm going to write a like scaffolded like backend for it for now. So I'll document that. I'll, go all the way through. I have a like good mental model of like how far that's going to get me. And then when it comes back online, I'll fix it. I'll keep track of that fact. It's just like, it is, I think the most impressive thing for me is like, you're just being able to like delegate that kind of level of task and just trust that the right thing will happen by the end. And of course, like you'll review the result and there's still like a whole verification thing that we can and should talk about because I think that's an important part of still completing the swing there. But it's really forced me to rethink like what does being productive with one of these models look like? And it is much more